We're taught that succeeding in the modern world requires a cooperative mindset. Society expects you to be fair, decent, and deeply democratic. Yet the individuals controlling the highest levels of politics and modern boardrooms are frequently ruthless, intimidating figures. The people wielding the most influence rarely match the polite corporate ideal. This creates a deep confusion for anyone trying to navigate a hierarchy. You see this contradiction perfectly highlighted in Robert Greene's book, The 48 Laws of Power. One chapter advises you to crush your enemy totally, while another tells you to work on their hearts and minds. Evolutionary psychology has recently provided an explanation for these exact contradictions. By studying human nonverbal behavior, researchers discovered that power is biologically coded into a dual-track system, two completely distinct paths to attaining social rank. These two tracks rely on opposing biological signals. When these signals are mixed or applied to the wrong situation, the resulting misalignment is something observers sense immediately. Before these two tracks split, they share a single non-negotiable biological baseline called agency. In social science, agency is the physical demonstration of action and size. Across all human cultures, physical expansiveness is an automatic signal of high rank. Taking up physical space, widening your stance, and exposing your chest forces observers to recognize your presence. Greene captures this biological imperative in Law 28, enter action with boldness. Taking up maximum physical space translates into taking audacious strategic action. Timidity shrinks your footprint, boldness expands it. But here is where the path splits. On this graph of the interpersonal circumplex, the vertical axis is agency, the horizontal axis is communion, measuring human warmth and pro-sociality. This axis forces a choice in how power is wielded. High agency gets you noticed, but your level of communion, projecting warmth or coldness, dictates if you are followed or feared. The first track is dominance. This is a low communion strategy, where a person obtains social rank through intimidation and forced deference. Subordinates comply because they feel threatened by the consequences of noncompliance. This chart from a recent psychological study measures exactly how observers perceive dominance. Notice that the dominance ratings peak when a person combines an expansive physical posture with a downward head tilt and a strict absence of a smile. These cold biological signals map directly to Greene's most ruthless strategies, Law 17, cultivate an air of unpredictability, and Law 15, crush your enemy totally. The data shows that remaining emotionally detached is a biological requirement for fear-based leadership. The data reveals what happens when these signals are diluted. Look at this second chart, specifically the drop-off and dominance ratings when a smile is introduced. For a dominant leader, displaying warmth actively erodes their perceived power. A dominant strategist relies on a lack of warmth. Introducing empathy into this specific equation sabotages the biological threat that their power base is built upon. The second track is prestige. This is a high communion strategy, where rank is obtained through earned respect, demonstrated expertise, and freely chosen followership. People follow because they value the leader's knowledge. Look at the prestige ratings on the right side of this chart. The data peaks under an entirely different physical formula. To signal prestige, keep the expansive posture, but pair it with an upward head tilt and a symmetrical smile. These warm biological signals map directly to Greene's collaborative rules. Law 43, work on the hearts and minds of others, and Law 11, learn to keep people dependent on you. Projecting high communion is how you physically seduce others into loyalty. Because this strategy relies on freely chosen deference, it carries a unique risk. If a prestige leader attempts to use the ruthless, low communion tactics of dominance, their followers will simply leave, instantly stripping away their influence. Prestige power yields deeply loyal followers, but it is deeply fragile. It requires constant, authentic proof of empathy and value to maintain the group's consent. Attaining power requires the execution of a non-contradictory cocktail of physical microexpressions and strategic actions. Human evolution has hardwired us to instantly recognize dominance and prestige on a subconscious level. instantly sensing if physical signals are misaligned with strategic moves. This brings us to Greene's ultimate instruction, Law 48, assume formlessness. This law is the practical application of what evolutionary psychology has proven in the lab. True masters of hierarchy observe their environment, determining whether the situation requires dominance or prestige. Once they choose a path, they align every physical expression and strategic move to match it. Success in the human social game rewards those most adaptable to the biological rules being played. It is the ability to shift forms that creates lasting influence.